Hey guys, this section of violence here. I gotta make it quick. I don't have great Wi-Fi. I don't know how long my Wi-Fi is gonna last, so let me just make this quick for you guys. I got Rad Opakic in the rematch. I think he's gonna be the more well-rounded fighter. Or I just think he's a better fighter. Just got caught in the last one. I got Wu here in a close matchup. Could go either way. I got Martine Michialato in a fight where she should win, but you never know. It's women's fighting. You never can predict that. I got Juan Il Quan. I got him at underdog odds, so I could arbitrage if I want, but there's no real need to here. So I got Juan Il Quan here. I think he's the better striker, and I think he's going to be able to defend all the takedowns. Moving on, we got Ariane Dibikovic versus Nikki Holskin. Nikki's 38. I'm really liking Ariane Sadovic here. He hurt Ursel. Ursel's a beast. So if you can do that to Ursel, you imagine what you could do to 38-year-old Nikki Holskin. So I'm on Sidikovic. We got Mansur Makhalachev versus Jeremy Miado. So Mansur is a prospect out of Eagle FC. Very good at submissions, choking his opponent out. We're gonna take him by sub against Miado, but Miado's no slouch, so this should be a fun one. Moving on, we got Super Bond Singa Maiwan versus Tafon Oskan. Now this was a little closer a fight for me originally, but learning how the motivation has kind of lacked for Typhon. Um, he's definitely, I don't think, going to perform up to his standards, and he's not really, his footwork isn't that great, so I don't think he's going to be able to get into the range to hurt um, Super Bond. Um, yeah, he hasn't really, like, all the fights he's done in ONE FC, he hasn't really done anything too crazy. Like, he does have power, so he could catch Super Bond, definitely could. But yeah, I'm leaning here Super Bond in this fight. I like Super Bond. I like Super Bond a lot here by unanimous decision. Moving on, we got Ilya Fremanov versus Zoltzgeg. Probably one of the locks of the card. Ilya Fremayev. He should run right through Soljet. Ilya knocked out Martin again. He's a very, very dangerous striker, very, very advanced in the feet. I think he's just going to run right through him. It's going to be quite easy fight for Ilya. Moving on, we had Cade Bertolo versus Tommy Langaker. They score heavily on submission attempts, so I think Cade's going to win a unanimous decision. Yeah, it's a style built for Cade, so let's see how he goes. When we got Regan Ursel versus Dmitry Menchikov, I got Ursel here, but it's a close fight. Menchikov's very, very dangerous, very, very credentialed. I don't know about experience; he's quite young, but I think he's got a good chance of winning. But yeah, my most confident pick is Super Bond. Next up, it's Ariane Sidivikovic. Uh, third would be, or second would be, sorry, Ilya. Third would be Sidivikovic. Tie for third would be Cade. If not, it's tie for second. Regan Ursel number four, and Michiazzo number five. Now we got BFL. I'm gonna run through it real quick. I got a lot of teammates fighting, so I'm gonna give you guys. It's looking like the Wi-Fi is not going. Maybe if I do this, there you go. So we got BKFC. Let me run through that quick. I'll get BFL right after. So BKFC, it's a fun card. We got Drake Coles. I think Drake Coles wins this quite easily. There's no lines for him, unfortunately, so can't bet him. We have Coda Greenwood taking on Derek Gates. Even though Greenwood's performance wasn't tremendous, I still think he put up enough to where I think he's going to beat Derek Gates either by decision or stoppage. I think Greenwood has what it takes to beat Derek Gates. A little nervous, not going to lie, but I think Coda wins quite easily. Moving on. Leo Bercier versus Willie Sears. Willie Sears is he looking like in better shape than he did last fight, but he's still not going to do very well. Leo Bercier's got good boxing. He's tough. He's going to take out Willie Sears here. I think it's going to be an easy fight for him. Lock of the card. Moving on, we got Brady Meister versus Connor McKenna. Brady Meister is a long striker. Connor McKenna looks like uh, Butterbean, so you can't really call him an athlete. And he's not fighting in his hometown as well. So I give the edge to Meister here. I think Meister wins this by TKO in the second or third. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun one for sure. We got Dorian Long versus Mark Johnson. Mark Johnson, he has a loss to Rene Rodriguez, so it's not a terrible loss. But when you're fighting a guy like Dorian Long, who, in my opinion, has a good boxing background, some good boxing as well, I think he's going to be able to work Mark Johnson here and catch him and take him out of there within the distance. I got Dorian Long inside the distance. Moving on, we got Gabriel Mata versus Sawyer DP. A lot of people are on Sawyer, and I get it. He's dangerous. He's from Great Falls, Montana. I get it, but I just like Gabriel Mata here. His aggressiveness, his power. I feel like it's going to be too much for Sawyer. He's not very defensively sound. And I think Gabriel Mata is going to make him pay for it. Moving on, we have Dakota Hyphen taking on Ryan Ibsen. I think Dakota Hyphen is now fighting a taller opponent compared to his last fight, a shorter opponent. And I do think he's going to be able to show off his body work in this fight. I think he's going to be just too much for Ryan Ibsen. The fact that Ibsen has never fought in bare knuckle is also a detriment to him. I see Dakota winning this fight quite convincingly. Moving on, we have Jordan Christensen versus Kerry Latimer. All I need you guys to do is see this man's record, and then you'll know who to pick. 14-36. That's all you need to know. He's fighting Jordan Christensen, whose only losses, like he's lost a few, but one of them he should not have lost is where he puked in the fourth round, and they called it a TK. It was ridiculous. But anyways, I got Jordan Christensen's here quite easily, first or second round TKO. Moving on, we got Bryce Henry versus Billy Wagner. Now, normally I'd give Billy Wagner more of a shot. He's very, very educated with his hands. He's got some good boxing. Very, very effective in what he does. But the thing is, he's not as good as Bryce Henry. Bryce Henry is a little more slick. He's taller. He's got more power. I like Bryce Henry here. It's a tailor-made matchup for him. I feel like he's going to win quite convincingly. Sure, could Billy catch him? 100%. But I'm not going to bank on that. I'm on Bryce Henry here. Moving on, we got Lloyd Mix versus Dallas Davison. So Lloyd Mix, he's got actually really good hands. He's got good eyes, can trick you with his eyes. I really like how Lloyd fights. But the thing is, he's lost to guys that he should never be losing to. And when you're fighting a guy as dangerous as Davison, you better be on your game all 5 rounds. And I just don't think he will be all 5 rounds. Um, I'm gonna go with Davison here, but it's a low confidence pick. It could go either way, but I'm on Davison here just because of the youth and the quality of competition at BKFC. Moving on, we have Louis Lopez versus Kai Stewart. Now, I like Kai Stewart. He can make an ugly fight, and he can even steal a decision. But the thing about Kai Stewart that a lot of people forget is he has struggles with guys that aren't going to just fold off the first punch. Like, he struggles. He's not going to quit, but he struggles. And I feel like Louis Lopez is the guy that's going to expose him here. Maybe not the guy, but I think he could be. And I'm going to go with Louis Lopez here just because of that. I'm not confident, and I'm not going to yell from the rooftops, but I do think Louis Lopez is the tougher, more fighter of the two. Because I feel like Kai just is a good hammer, but when it comes to being a nail, he does not like being a nail. I got to go with Louis Lopez here, but it's a great card nonetheless. Most confident predictions: Leo Bercier, number 2 would have to be Bryce Henry. Number 3 would have to be Drake Coles. Number 4 would have to be Dorian Long and Brady Meister. Number 5 would have to be Louis Lopez and Coda Greenwood. All right, guys, like, subscribe, you know the drill. I got one more for you, and we're done. So BFL. This one's going to be quick, so don't worry. So the main event got scratched, Kachik versus Santinato. Would have been a nice cash with Santinato, but alas, it's not going to happen. So instead, we have Xavier Nash taking on Achilles Astromodu. I can't even say his last name. But yeah, I'm going to get into these fights. So first off, I'm not going to get into the amateur fights. I try not to talk about them, even though you can bet on them. Bergen's got the cardio and striking advantage, but he's at a huge wrestling disadvantage. So Bergen's a good shot on the dog. Ashley Watkins versus Hofer. Watkins is a good striker, but Hofer trains with Loopy, has some wrestling, grappling, so kind of got to ride with Hofer there. And then as far as Lamb versus Daniel Abdu, I don't know what to do with that one. And Jason Giroux versus Nathan Nelson Sprue. Don't know what to do at negative odds, especially when they're both 1 and 2. Not really something I'm interested in. We got Jamie Siraj versus Esteban Sedano. Jamie Siraj is very, very dangerous, very, very well-rounded. Esteban Sedano, he's one of those Mexican fighters who you never know. He could be a mystery box. He could be really, really good, or he could be really, really bad. So we'll have to find out come fight day. But there's not too much I can tell you from here. Moving on, we got Maxime Saucy versus Nicolette. What does worry me is Saucy has Faraz in his corner, but he can't win the fight for you. Ula is so good everywhere. He's a great striker, good, amazing at jiu-jitsu. I think he catches a Maxime in a sub, or just TKOs him. This is a Nick Luet fight. I truly believe that. Moving on, we got Xavier Nash versus Achilles Astermanda. I'm going to go with Xavier Nash, but I'm super biased here. It's a very slight lean just because I feel Xavier's grappling is just so much better. But at the same time, Achilles' striking is very good, or it's pretty good. And I feel like it could cause problems for Xavier. But at the same time, I do think Xavier's been there and done that with dangerous strikers, so I feel like he can deal with that. But you never know. It's a fight. Anything can happen. I'm on Xavier. I'm always going to be riding with Xavier. So, Team Xavier, let's go. Moving on, we got Naveed Zangana. Even though he's should win this fight, I can't bet on him, man. I refuse to bet on him. He has no striking, mediocre striking, very low level striking. Jiu-jitsu is non-existent, and his wrestling's good. But Daniel Palomares, one thing about the Mexicans is they don't give up. So if you better have one great round or to put him away because round 2, round 3, it starts to favor the Mexican. So I don't know here. I'm more of a pass, dogger pass for me for this spot. Where odds are way too wide for me. The guy doesn't have the talent to cover those lines. So moving on, we got Josh Kolsky versus Francisco Villanueva. Francisco Villanueva. He is a very, very dangerous striker at the same time, but he's not that good. He isn't that good, and I feel like Josh Kolsky can drown him. I feel like he's got the better grappling, better striking. I feel like he's just going to be able to outwork him. But yeah. Oh, I remember that. This is the guy that shouldn't have won his last fight. Yeah, I remember JT. Moving on, we got Aso Polani, which isn't happening anymore, so we don't need to talk about that. We got Manny El Hefwani versus Mitch Stracella. This fight's got some beef. You gotta love beef. I got Mitch's. I don't even know here to be honest. I'm kind of torn. I like Mitch Stracella here, but I also like Hefwani. So I'm gonna go with Hefwani, but it's a very slight lean. Moving on, we got Jared Revell taking on Bruno Santos. Bruno Santos is very experienced, trained in UFC, trained in competed in the UFC, competed in a lot of pro organizations, high level organizations. I feel like Jared Revell is kind of hitting his stride right now with as far as hitting the submissions. I feel like Jared Revell is gonna win again. But I could be wrong here. I could be totally wrong here. I don't know. This is a fight I'm more just interested in taking notes on. Moving on, we have the main event or one of the main events of the card. We have Siri City versus man. I don't even I can't remember his name. It's like Ali Wusak. All I know is City's gonna murk this guy like badly. Lock of the card. 3 locks today. I really like City. Um, City, Bercier, uh, and Super Bond. I really like those 3. Like, subscribe, you know the drill, and I'll catch you next time.